Hey guys, it's Buff612 here. Coming at you guys with another law today. So, I know for me, kind of feels like I took another hiatus, took another few days off, but had time to come again to share another law with you and share some literature. Real quick, a few reminders. Again, I'm not a mental health professional. I am not a self help guru. I'm just someone that um, is struggling too, mentally, spiritually, physically, and just found a piece of literature that I think um, can help people kind of start in the self help process or finding peace. And so, yeah, so let's get it going. So this is Law 22. This is confront your anxieties with reason. So the law's a little lengthy to read today, but um, I guess just like any of the other laws, this is easier said than done. Confronting your anxieties with reason, going through the law, I think that's something um, that we think we do consciously, but I think we forget kind of the basic things when we're confronting these barriers and challenges in our lives. Um, and with anxiety, it's mainly mental inside yourself, and so when you're dealing with that, there's a lot of things that can kind of block our progress when we're doing that. And so I just wanted to point out a few things in the law that I thought were good. Um, uh, the first one, media, drugs, and alcohol. So a lot of people, and including myself, really like to um, distract our minds from confronting our anxieties head on, and dealing with our issues as people. And so we like to drown ourselves in media, drugs, alcohol, social media, substances. So, um, it's always a reminder that, even for myself in my journey, I'm guilty of all of those. And, I know for me, I just actually celebrated 3 years sober from alcohol last weekend. And it took some time, to deal with that. That's not an overnight solution when you're trying to work on those things. And so, you know, again, easier said than done. That's one thing I think we all guilty in, but, something to kind of check ourselves when we're working internally on ourselves. So, the second thing is, I can't control or it's out of my hands. So, um, really, you know, when you think you can control your anxiety, right? There's a lot of things about anxiety that we can deal with on a daily basis, whether it's breathing exercises or being nervous when we're around people. Those are certain anxieties that we can control, but there's a lot of them that we can't and that are out of our hands. And so, tomorrow's not promised to nobody, and we can't waste time on the anxieties that we can't control. And so, it's better that, I can't speak for everyone, but just to navigate those, that the ones that we can control and the ones that are out of our hands, and we may need a little help with that. And so, um, there's again complex history with adversity, trauma. All of those things are lived experiences, and biological as well. With that, can kind of affect that anxiety and how we deal with it. And it's so much complexity with that. And so, what do we do with that, and how do we do with that? And so, again, navigating that, and definitely asking for help when you need it. So, and it's consistent work. This isn't just an overnight solution when you're dealing with anxiety, mental health, things like that. I think more than likely it's going to be, for the rest of our lives that we're dealing with this. And so, really, at the end of the day, just like my AA group says, just taking these things one day at a time, you know, um, and tackling it that way instead of thinking, for the rest of my life, I'm going to have these issues. But no, just really taking it one day at a time. And I think for myself, that's easy to ingest. And also, there's a lot of soul searching that happens with that, a lot of inside work. And then again, I just wanted to mention, asking help when you need it. Don't be afraid to. That's one of the strongest things that anybody can do in their lives, is to get help from others when they need help to deal with their anxieties and deal with their barriers and issues in life, whether that be financially, health, um, what have you. And so, um, don't be afraid to ask. But yeah, those are kind of my quick thoughts on Law 22. So um, if you have any thoughts, any suggestions, feel free to write in the Discord. Feel free to write in the comments on YouTube. Yeah, and I'll definitely respond. So, but definitely check out the description if you like to buy the text or join my Discord group. So, all right, thanks everyone. Have a good day.